Hi guys. In my previous video, I said that Linux is not something that is only for technology lovers or programmers or IT guys or any kind of advanced operating system or advanced computer users. Rather, it is a free and simple operating system and can be your daily drivers. And there are multiple Linux distributions available. And for uh, beginners, this might seem kind of a very confusing and everything that what's happening, I don't know. I have only used Windows for years, and that's the only thing that I know about is the operating system as the operating system. But to tell you a little bit of a story, that is, this Microsoft company has started Windows as an operating system that is much more user friendly, that will be having a GUI, that is a graphical user interface, which will help and enable a user to use a pointing device such as mouse to perform some task by simply clicking some icons or selecting, double clicking to open it or execute it, kind of, rather than entering some cryptic commands in the terminal or the console that Microsoft has first built as a standalone operating system. They called it as disk operating system or DOS. Almost at the same time, a parallel, I should say, terminal based operating system was getting built, which popularly was known as Unix. The concept was pretty much same. The commands and the syntaxes were different, but the concept was same, that you will be presented with a black screen, and somebody will be typing some cryptic commands and some cryptic programs and everything to perform something out of it that you might have seen in old English movies. But down the line, after some decades, we are well advanced from there, and we do have nice UIs in Windows nowadays. Windows 10 provides some smart UIs, and everything in Windows that you want to do seems pretty easy. It has all necessary icons provided for almost every kind of daily to daily operations that you want to do. For instance, opening a video player, playing a video, playing a song, opening up any kind of office files like Excel, PowerPoint, or Word files, and nice shortcuts for cut, copy, paste, and all these things. So these becoming very much popular these days. The more friendly GUIs. So from Unix, what really happened is that a guy called Linus Torvald, he created a fork of Linux, fork of Unix. You can say that it's just like as an advanced copy of Unix, to provide some additional features, some additional security over there. I'm just using layman's term, no technical terms, no scary technical details in anything. It's just a story that a parallel operating system movement was going on along with Windows, right? So Windows was very primitive at the very beginning. It was very primitive, that it was really a command. From that black command line, you have to enter the command to start Windows as a program, and then only you will be able to use your mouse or perform things in GUI. Those windows were generally called as workgroups. 3.1 and 3.11 was the very early Windows version that we know about, and then came the Windows 95, which was a drastic GUI improvement over these workgroup versions. It was a standalone operating system that you can install, and what they did is that they didn't actually drop the MS-DOS. What they did is that they packed MS-DOS inside Windows 95 so that you are still backward compatible. The guys who are much familiar to enter commands and then perform a task, they won't be disappointed, because back then mouse and all those things wasn't that easily available. It was expensive, and people are not that much familiar to use UIs. So Windows 95, you can say, is kind of a revolutionary thing that Microsoft has done, but it's not something very unique because it got huge popularity. But parallelly, GUI development was going on for Unix and Linux operating systems as well. All right. So as you can say, right now we have the Unix operating system still ongoing. It's a parent of all the you can say Linux operating systems that we have at the moment. And then there is Windows, of course. Now comes the question that, well, I do hear sometimes these all terms like there is Ubuntu, there is Fedora, there is Red Hat. I get confused. What are these things? So Linux or Unix, I should say, as is a free software. You know, you don't have to pay anything to get these operating systems. On the other hand, Windows is a Windows is a proprietary software. You have to pay for the licenses. And this is not only the difference. The other difference is that the source code for Linux or Unix, because Linux is forked out from Unix itself, so the source code is open. So that means that you actually can go to the source code, you can tweak, you can modify anything if you are a programmer, of course, and then you can create your own version of Linux based upon your need, based upon your daily operations, or I should say to target a particular kind of audience. So you can create your own distribution. So here comes three main, I should say, family, or three main big daddies of Linux family. The first one is Debian, right? Where you will be having a repository which is generally apt, so if you see somewhere, if you see Google and searching that how can I install these things via command line, and if you see this, that something called as this thing is written sudo apt get install, then some package, the package meaning some software application or some app or some library. Maybe for instance, I'm trying to install, maybe say stream or steam, sorry, my bad. So this, you can be sure that this is meant for a Debian based operating system. So if I say Debian based, so Debian is a big daddy, all right? So some layman thought that, okay, Debian is not providing me much packages. I should be getting more and more apps. I should be getting more and more performance benefits. I should be getting more and more drivers, you can say. Drivers meaning your graphic card drivers, drivers meaning your LAN card drivers, drivers meaning your sound drivers. So all of these things should be available, because nowadays we tend to use many uh, hardwares that really require some proprietary device drivers. For instance, you can use NVIDIA graphic cards, right? Realtek sound cards or something like that, that requires proprietary drivers that generally is available with you whenever you purchase that. You get a CD along with that, and yeah, and you are told to install that in your Windows, right? You should open the CD, you should install that. That will open up a console for you with a nice UI that NVIDIA or AMD card provides you, or the Realtek sound card provides you, and then you can customize all of these things according to your need. But keep in mind that you actually had to pay for these things, right? So these are proprietary software, doesn't come as free. Debian doesn't provide you anything as a proprietary software as free. So it's just the free software foundation provided free softwares. So if I'm not satisfied with that, say, right? And I need some drivers readily available with the OS as a package. So somebody what they have done is that they have created their own version of Debian. They forked out Debian. They have added some of the drivers. They have optimized the operating system to use those drivers and be performant uh, about it. So here comes, I got a child from Debian. One of the popular child that we all know is Ubuntu. That's a Debian based operating system, well capable of doing everything that generally Windows does. And there is another one that is called as Red Hat. It's the biggest community in Linux forum these days for enterprise level Linux. All right, so enterprise level Linux, by saying that I mean to say that they come with a uh, paid model. But by saying paid model, I am trying to say that they are providing you support for your enterprise operating system. So you install Red Hat Enterprise Linux, and you are running it for your production servers, you are running it for your production workstations, and if you are running into any kind of problem, any kind of customization, optimization, or any kind of stuff, you can call that Red Hat customer support. You can raise a ticket and they're going to solve this for you as soon as possible. So, and they are claiming some money for that. But then, as I said, that Linux is generally meant for to be free, to be available to everyone. So a community of people thought that, okay, Red Hat has done a good job and they are providing some very stable and very secure operating system. So we should be giving this for free to people. But the only difference is that we won't be providing any support. Whatever you are getting, you should be satisfied with that, because you're not paying anything. You are getting it for free, right? So what they have done is that way they have created a community version of this Red Hat software, right? Red Hat operating system, and they called it as Community Enterprise Operating System, popularly known as CentOS. That is another children of Red Hat, right? And Red Hat wasn't furiated, right? They haven't told this community that, okay, what you guys are doing, what you guys are up to. We have done so much hard work to, build a stable and secure operating system, and you guys are stealing the code from us. They didn't. What they did is that they helped the community instead. They helped the community to build this community enterprise OS, take out all this paid model from there, and take out all this payment codes and all those kind of things from there, and provide a replica of the Red Hat Enterprise Linux as is, but free. You don't have to pay for that. And in turn, you won't get any support. Fair enough, right? Now, Red Hat needs a test bed because it's an enterprise Linux. It cannot provide you something broken. So what they generally do is that it's for its test bed, they seek help from another community that is popularly known as Fedora, right? So all the cutting edge applications, all the cutting edge technologies, all the cutting edge programming language versions, all the cutting edge tools, libraries, everything, they try in that Fedora test bed, right? And Fedora is an operating system that releases twice a year, similar like Ubuntu, but Ubuntu doesn't have any test bed, mind it, right? Fedora is a test bed, but this entire Red Hat family believes that whatever OS I'm providing should be stable and should be secured, right? So from the perspective of your daily driver, I should say that Fedora is a very, very secure and very, very stable operating system. It's not that they are just, providing the cutting edge libraries, the cutting edge compilers, those are broken. It's not. It's always a little bit behind, but it's not lagging behind. It's maybe say one version old, the latest stable version they are providing, something like that, but not the cutting edge version of that, because the stability of that is not guaranteed. It can it can break the operating system. Having said that, it has its own package repository. So if you see something as a command reference, that sudo dnf install, or maybe say sudo yum install, That means that these commands are targeted for this Red Hat family of Linux distributions. Two of these I have already discussed, and these two are very popular, this CentOS and Fedora. Both of this comes as free, while if you are installing Red Hat Enterprise Linux, you have to pay something. Fair enough. Now, there is another one, that is the third one, that is the Arch Linux or Arch Linux. Somebody says that. So this is another big daddy in the Linux family, right? And if you see something like, they have their own repository as well. That is, if you see something like Pacman, then maybe S, then it's a weird syntax, but still works. Pacman minus S, Steam. So that means that it's targeting the distribution that are Arch Linux based, right? Arch Linux is the big daddy. Okay. So who are the audience for Arch Linux? As I said, that Red Hat Enterprise Linux is more targeted for whoever prefers a stable and secure operating system. So that means that it is generally meant for the developers, because developers don't want a broken operating system. Developers don't want an operating system that provides buggy libraries, because they use that operating system as a bed for their software development. So the operating system, if that is buggy, it might end up with development of buggy softwares as well. So developers don't want that. So that's why it's a very popular choice for developers to use Fedora or CentOS in their local operating system. Basically Fedora, I would rather say, because that provides you much more advanced libraries and the language compilers, the interpreters, as I already have said. So that's very popular among developers, but that doesn't mean that a simple person who is not a developer, who doesn't care about all these, compilers and all those kind of technical stuff, and they want a music player, they want a video player, they want a mail client, they want a browser, and that's it. They're happy with it. Their day-to-day task is this. They want to make some presentation, they want to make a Word file, they want to create an Excel file, and that's it. They are done. They are done with the operating system. So Fedora is well and good for that also, right? The Arch Linux is something that is targeted for, again, developers, operating system developers, library developers, uh, compiler developers, basically technical guys. It's not meant for your daily to daily driving tasks. So if you are not a tech geek, if you are not a technical guy, I would rather say stay away from that. So I just have told about the big daddy, that is Arch Linux. Let's talk about one popular children, that is Manjaro, right? So that has been forked out from the certainly Arch Linux, and they have provided easier installation process, I would say, compared to Arch. But again, it's not like bread and butter. It needs some technical knowledge. It needs something, and something. So I would prefer that if you are a beginner or if you are a simple computer user, stay away from there, right? So that leaves us with the rest of the two big daddies. One is the Red Hat, of course, and another is the Debian. Which one to choose for? So I can say that I discussed about Ubuntu as a child of Debian. So from Ubuntu, they have created multiple communities have created multiple Linux versions, multiple Linux distributions, I should say. Some of the popular ones are like Mint Linux, some of the popular Linux from the Ubuntu families. Another one is that the Pop OS. Then there is Kali Linux. So all of these are generally targeted for a specific audience. So I would rather say that don't bother about these. In general, keep in mind that Debian based operating systems, I'm not talking about the big daddy now, I'm talking about the children's, Ubuntu, Mint OS, Pop OS, Kali Linux. So these are having specific packages for you to be used. So there may be a Linux which is very friendly for gaming. Why so? Because it has already pre-installed various graphic card drivers, various sound card drivers, various libraries that you will need to play games in it. And you can simply, and of course, optimization for the operating system. So it's there. So that's why it's popular for playing games. An operating system which comes up with, say, libraries and everything for hacking can be a distribution, right? Now, for Ubuntu, I would say that it's very easy to install and it's very easy to understand. Ubuntu and Mint are really something that is there for beginners. All right. If you are searching for a free operating system, you bought a laptop which doesn't have any operating system, is just having DOS. So you need an operating system nowadays. So I would prefer that you start with Ubuntu, you start with Mint, or you start with Pop OS. But as and when you will be starting to use it, as and when you get familiar with various aspects of all the UIs, all the functionalities that is there, so soon you will realize that it's kind of bloated. It's not the vanilla Linux flavor that you are getting. Once you will get a hang of it, you will feel like that it is getting slow, it is getting bloated, and all those kind of stuff. And this is where the Red Hat family of Linux comes into play. Those are really stable. It can do whatever you are throwing at it. So my personal favorite is Fedora, because I am a I am a developer, Linux lover. Of course, I try different distributions different times, but Fedora is something that is always there in my laptop, always, right? So I generally prefer that, and that's because of its stability and security. And Another thing is that let's just now explore that what is the capability of these two operating systems, Fedora, Ubuntu. The difference there is the package manager, the package repositories. So Ubuntu packages, if you see that it might be available for you to download something. If I want to install like Steam, you can say I can get a file like steam.deb. Deb stands for Debian because it's a Debian based operating system. I got a Deb package. On the other hand, Red Hat family gives you a package which has a configure, which has a extension named as .rpm, Red Hat Package Manager, right? So mainly two difference, and say this team needs library.rpm, library1.rpm, library2.rpm, and all those kind of stuff. So this is why they have created a package manager, which I already said in Red Hat family. This is either yum or DNF. In Ubuntu family, that is there as app or apt-get to get it, So this is there, which will resolve all the dependencies, all the libraries that is needed to install a particular package, and it will be doing the job for you, right? So let me give you an example how to do that. If you're doing it via GUI, then there is no problem, because maximum people will prefer to do it via GUI because it's easy. You don't have to scratch your head to find a particular command and how to use that. This is not working, that is not working, kind of things. So I don't want to bloat my OS, but I won't mind playing chess in my optional time. So let's install this. Okay, so under the hood, what it actually does is that it finds the package from the repository, and it tries to resolve all the dependencies, tries to understand that, okay, what all additional package it needs to install this, and then it performs all the installation first for the dependencies, and then it installs the final package. And then, yeah, you got it, right? So having said that, let's explore some of the things that while it installs, let's leave it over here. So it will be installing in some time. So let's say this is the browser, nothing to say about that. It's as simple as that, with no surprises. And it's Chrome. You can install n number of browsers, whatever is you prefer, Chrome, Chromium, Firefox. If you're a developer, you might be preferring Firefox Developer Edition. So you can install all of those in Linux, right? And this is simply WhatsApp web. I created a window from there, and then that's it. And let's explore some of the popular tasks right now. So this is something that is called Darktable, a popular alternative for, I should say, um, Photoshop or Lightroom. I should rather say Lightroom, right? So it's a popular alternative for Lightroom. If you want to edit photos, if you want to modify the color combinations, if you want to modify the cropping or the aspect ratios, or if you want to eliminate the noises or anything kind of things, Lightroom is pretty much lightweight, and it can do the job pretty good. I won't say that it does 100% job that Lightroom can do, but it does pretty good job, right? So yeah, then comes of course the rhythm box music player, which is there. Then so I got some music. Plays it pretty good. Um, then comes the, of course, let's play some games, right? So if I try to play a game, so this is Counter Strike, and to play that I have installed Steam, which you can see that if you will open the Steam library, then you can install n number of games from there. Those are very popular games. Just check that if it is supported for Linux or not. All the Steam libraries are available for you to download. So you can see that it is connecting to my Steam account right now. Uh, and yeah, it seems it's connected, and the game should start. Yeah, it's Counter-Strike Global Offensive version, so it should start. Let's see that how Linux is good for playing games, right? So I won't be playing it, just for the sake of showing you that how it looks like and the frame rates and all those kind of stuff. Let's see that. Small bug, should wait, and it would be ready to start. Okay, it's launching, and I'm in. If I play, say I'm playing with easy bots, very popular map, Dust 2. It's loading. Fair enough. Let's plant some bombs, right? So yeah, fair enough. not in the mood to play games, but yeah, you got the idea, right? That how it should be played. And right now, what I should check is that my software got installed or not. Let's see that. Looks like there is some problem with the internet or something. But this is the idea that you will find. So yeah, so see, there are a lot of repositories that is available for you. That there is Flatpak, there is so if you see any other software, let's say what I should install, Shotwell. It's a photo manager, right? So see, this is coming as a repository from the Fedora project itself. It's a photo manager. It does pretty good job. I'm not gonna install it anyway, but yeah, it can render raw photos as well. So all you need to do is like you do in Windows apps, like you do in Mac OS apps, similar thing you have to do over here, that browse your software category, that whatever you want, and then find it, install it, and it's ready to go, right? And let's just open up LibreOffice Calc. That is the, I should say, Excel for Linux. But of course, you can use multiple MS Office softwares as well. So if I do 5, let's say 9, something like that, and then I'm selecting all the columns over here, and I want to sum it. Or let's say average. Next. I think I should provide the column. Column is A1. I'm very bad at Excel, so please forgive me for that. I don't know the syntax, and I admit it. What is there? It's error. How it does things. Is it comma? No. Forget it. Let's say this is 1. And then here I want to say equal to average and the numbers are A1 to A6. Ha, fair enough. Got it, right? So those guys who are familiar with Excel, I'm very bad at it. So just forgive me for that. Those guys who are familiar with Excel, whatever formula you have learned in Excel, same thing is applicable over here as well. What I know about is there is no change. You can do whatever you want, whatever you can do in Excel, you can do it over here as well. Same thing goes for Word. Looks like this, and certainly you can do bold, italic, underline, center aligning, bullet pointing, whatever blah blah things. You can color it, of course, with like this. Increase the font size. No point describing words, but yeah, so something like this you can of course do. And then there is PowerPoint presentation over here as well, which we generally call as LibreOffice this thing, Impress or something like that, right? So this is for your PowerPoint presentation. You can create presentation as you do in your Microsoft PowerPoint. So here also you can do that. And one thing you can remember is that you can always save files in Microsoft format. That's good, right? Like say I want to save this guy, the Excel guy. I have something over here, WF1, something say as 2, say 3, a random file, right? And I want to save it. So you can save it as ODF spreadsheet. You can save it as flat XML. You can save it as Excel format, latest format, or you can save it as old Excel format, however you want. You can save it as CSV as well. So it gives you a number of options. Those are already available. You know, so that's pretty much it. And you will be getting these options for Word and PowerPoint as well. So that's pretty much Microsoft compatible. So don't be scared that if I do something in Linux and then later on I take those things into pen drive and then in my office it doesn't work and I'm embarrassed. It won't happen. It will run pretty smooth and fine. And for your pen drives and everything, just plug it. It will start to play. There is no surprise over there also. And for calendars and all that, whenever you will install Fedora, it will ask you for the internet accounts. Like generally Windows also asks you, right? Similar things right now, Fedora, Ubuntu, all of those GUIs will ask you your internet accounts. You provide those in the OS. If you are using it for your personal usage, provide those. And all the calendars and the contacts and everything will start to get synced up, and uh, yeah, for the developers, there is some good news as well. For the developers, I can say that this is the C compiler that is already inbuilt. There is the Python compiler built in, and pretty much latest. You can see 3.7.6, which is pretty much latest. Then there is Ruby minus V, that is 2.7. I don't think that was provided. I think I have used it. So by RVM list. No, that's the one provided by the operating system. But yeah, you got the idea. A lot of compilers and everything are already provided for different languages based upon your usages. I don't know Lua's and all that. Yeah, oh my goodness, Lua is also provided. Uh, yeah, so that's something very good. And what else is there? I think I skipped videos. So let's go over there. And yeah, so this is my video library. Pretty boring, guys. I have all educational videos and everything, but don't have any movies kind of. So the idea is you can click on that, you can play that, and it will start to play. No surprise. And hi friends. So this is the video today, I believe, yeah. And so this is the application switcher. If you go to the activities, you will get a pretty smooth preview of things, that whatever you are doing based upon your need, you can just close things. I don't need this. I don't need this Zoom. No, I need the Zoom because I'm currently recording it. I don't need Darktable. I don't need the things, these things. I don't need to save it, of course, and then I do that. What else I don't need? I don't need this guy as well. I don't need this guy as well. Don't need to save it. So yeah, pretty much like this. And the basic operation, if you are familiar with DOS, the CD command and the MV, CP and RM. What else? dir is not there, but ls is there, which will do the same thing. So if I want to say that I want to list what is there in my present directory, simply ls will do the job. A long format is la, where all hidden directories and all those things will be shown, hidden directories and hidden files. So generally Linux saves hidden directories and files by prepending a dot in the file name or folder. And this is the permissions that you generally give. Don't worry about it, because Linux saves you back by clicking on properties, clicking on permissions. You can give permissions to the files, the owner, the group, and the others. You don't have to type any command in the command line. The GUI interface will do the job pretty much good for you. So I think that's it. This is my the wireless connector. You go to the Wi-Fi settings, the widget will be appearing for you, and these are the Wi-Fi networks that is available. The sound, Then if you list out the devices, the display is there, the keyboard shortcuts, the mouse, printers, and everything. You can customize the mouse scrolling. I have enabled natural scrolling that is there in Apple because I find it very awkward, the Windows style scrolling. I get confused because for a long time I have used Mac. Still also I use Mac, and then when I start to work on this laptop, I get confused with why it is in exactly the opposite manner. But natural scrolling is something that Mac provides. So here also you can do the things. So yeah, so these kind of customizations is already provided in Fedora OS. Inside Fedora OS, there are no need of any scientific kind of investigations, how to do this, how to do that. It's automatically provided. You just need to search it. And as I said in my previous video, if you are installing the Tweaks tool, you will get a lot of other options as well, to advanced customization, you can say. All right. So these options you will get, additional options, I should say, which generally the OS widgets are not providing you. So you can do that as well. So yeah, I think I covered it pretty much. The end point is that don't be scared that I'm using Linux, how will I use it? And this is not working, that is not working, kind of. Everything works. The shortcuts and everything are pretty much like Windows. Control C is the copy, Control V is the paste, uh, Control X is the copy, cut, Control V is the paste, Shift delete is the permanent delete. You can, but of course, enable a warning before you delete it before, because unnecessary you can delete something. So yeah, this video is targeted for very basic, very beginner users, and so I think all of the things that you generally need from your daily to daily work uh, in a workstation, Fedora and Ubuntu or Mint or Pop OS, these four OS I will recommend to you. Explore any one of them, and my personal favorite is Fedora, for of some of the reasons that I already have stated. But these four operating systems that Linux provides, the distribution that Linux family provides, are very good for beginners, are very good for advanced users as well. But for advanced user, I would prefer that don't go to this, Ubuntu and Mint and Pop OS families. Rather install Fedora or CentOS or RHEL. You have to pay something for RHEL, but otherwise Fedora and CentOS is free, right? So I think I haven't said much about the pictures, but I have already said it in my previous video. So this is my library. I can see all my albums over here. I haven't made any, but yeah, of course I can see the albums. Uh, I don't think I have left anything. For developers, there is no surprise. This is Visual Studio. This is the spider. So everything that is there in Windows, however it behaves, the same behavior is there for Linux. There is no surprise. And how to use that, how to install that, and all those kind of stuff. If you are a developer, I believe you will find it easily in Google. So and of course the repository, software repository is always there. You can search over there also and then install it from there via GUI. Uh, or you can download the package, double click on it, will start to install. So pretty much easy stuff. No robot sciences over there, and things works as expected. There is no surprise. And as Fedora is a very stable and secure operating system, you can expect least amount of crashes and bug reports and all of those kind of unwanted stuffs. So I would recommend that if you are paying for your Windows license and you didn't want to do that, so don't pay it anymore. And gradually, Windows is also shifting towards free software kind of things, and that's why they have said that okay, from Windows 10 and onwards, or I think Windows 8.1 and onwards, they have said that okay, you pay the license fee once and we will provide you a lifetime of upgradation. That was not there in earlier version of Windows. 95, 98, 2000, XP, Vista, Windows 7, 8, all of those came up with different license fees. You have to purchase it again and again. The update is not free, I believe. So they are also going towards more and more cheaper options to attract more and more audiences, but Linux is already there. One additional thing that you have to keep in mind while using Linux is that you don't have to much worry about viruses. uh, there are still some, but not as much as Windows. Windows generally gets affected by virus pretty easily, and that's not the case with Linux. If you are performing even downloads and all those kind of stuff, it's very unlikely that it's going to affect your system. So it's that stable, and it's not about the distributions that you are using. It's overall Linux, it's overall Unix family, I should say, because the big daddy ultimately was Unix. From there, Linux was made by Linus Torvalds. So all of these Unix family systems, and that includes Mac OS as well, gets least affected by virus. You don't have to worry about that. So uh, that's all, my friends. As a summary of the daily to daily usage about Linux, don't get scared. It's meant for you, and it's meant for your daily driver. So use it, have fun. Uh, Whatever you want to do, listen to music, play games, surf internet, send mails, chat in WhatsApp, or whatever you want to uh, do those things, have fun. For developers, I have to say much, I believe, because they already know what is Fedora, or if they don't know, please try, find it out how stable and reliable this software is, and install your necessary software requirements to build your software. uh, that would be it for today. And I hope that you will be using a Linux distribution soon in your machine. As a Linux lover, I would really love that. And I would encourage that to do so. Let me know how things goes. And until then, see you.